Let's take a couple of moments and we'll check out how to set the clock and some different ways to display the clock on Pioneer's FH-X731BT. Even though your particular in-dash receiver may or may not have a CD slot across the top like this one, the on-screen and button operation is identical for the following Pioneer models: FH-X730BS, FH-X731BT, FH-X830BHS, and MVH-X690BS. So right now I'm on the AM/FM radio, but you can be on any source, and we'll press in on the volume control, and we want to go along here until we find the system menu. Here's system, and we'll press enter, and inside the system menu let's scroll along until we find clock set. Here's clock set. Okay, so let's press enter there. And here we can set the hours and minutes on the clock. And notice we're on 9 a.m. here. If I turn along past 12, you'll see we go to 12 p.m. So let's make the time 1:15 p.m. There's 1 on the hours, and we'll press enter. And we'll scroll this back to 1:15 p.m. There we go. And we'll press enter again. Now, I want to go back and make sure that I have my 12-hour, 24-hour format set. So there's set clock. And let's roll over to the next setting, which is the 12-hour, 24-hour format. You can just press in to switch between them. I like to keep a 12-hour format on my clock, so that's fine. Let's go back now. And that is out to the radio. So I set the clock, but I don't see the clock on the display, and I would like to see the clock. So there's a couple of different options that we have for that. The first is touch the display button over here, and we can get some different information that shows up on the display. There's the frequency, and here's the clock shown on the display over here. Touch it again, and we have a spectrum analyzer. Touch it one more time. We have the broadcast information, and back around to frequency. So let's display the clock on the screen. All right, so there it is, 1:16 p.m. over here, but we have some other options to display the clock in different areas. So let's go back into that system menu. So here's system, and we'll press enter, and we're gonna roll along here until we find info display. And the other one we're interested here is in dot display. So let's start off with info display and press enter. And here we can show source and Bluetooth information, source and spectrum analyzer, clock and Bluetooth information, and you can see things are changing across the top here. Clock and spectrum analyzer, a level meter, and spectrum analyzer, and we can have nothing displayed in here at all if we'd like it that way. So we're going to go for right now for clock and let's not that one. How about clock and spectrum analyzer? And we'll hit the go back button here. So here you can see we have the clock displayed up here and over here along with our spectrum analyzer. If we hit the display button, we'll get different information on the screen. Now if we go back in there, we also have a setting for the dot display. Here's system, and we'll roll over to the dot display here. And under dot display, we can have the icon or the spectrum analyzer up there. So for right now, let's keep it as the icon, and we'll press enter, then we'll escape out of here. And we can change what we see on the display. So the head unit is on right now. I'm on one of the sources, the AM/FM radio source. If I switch the head unit off but keep the car on, press and hold source for a moment, the head unit is now switched off and the display is completely blank, but I want to switch the head unit off but keep the clock on the screen. Just press the display button over here. That lights up the display. You have the clock, but there's no music playing. If you'd like to black the screen completely out, just touch the display button.